근데 너무 비슷해요. 투어랑 MP랑 그냥 5g 가볍구나. 너무 비슷한데? 근데 이게 스핀이 조금 더 잘 되고 조금 더 가볍게 느껴져요. 근데 와, 날리지 않는 게 와. 확실히 공은 빠른데 가벼워. 자스가 너무 잘 쳐. 뭐 단식에선 가벼우면.
All right, a couple more. Let's get out. Yeah, that racket is a little more. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
The other one's so bright. It's like I can see it very clearly. So now I'm actually trying to read the ball.
Now you're talking like a player. 약간 이런 식으로 교과서 발리를 하면은 조금 더 잘 되는데.
Because I do think it'd be interesting to hear for your audience. Because I'm a one-handed player.
Yes.
So
yes.
I find that so many rackets
Yeah.
are made for either one or two. And so it's a different player for one.
Yeah.
You can get a guy just everything is right on this side and the volley's on the serve, but it's not for the one. And they're sort of limited, and you get those rounder Babolat, you know?
Yeah.
Even if they're great players rackets, one. And the Americans, for some reason, somebody teaches them, it's like parallel.
No.
And so you see a lot of these backhands like
Dude,
that.
like I talked about that when, you know, the ball's supposed to go more like a diagonal.
I'm always trying to go 7 o'clock. I'm just thinking 7 to 12.
See, like 저만 그런 게 아니에요. 저만 그런 게 아니라 저씨도 얘기를 하죠. We never talked about this.
No, well, I mean, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah.
We never talked about
No, we've never talked about it.
Yeah, but the ball is not struck like right on. It's struck more.
Yeah. And players most players misconstrue that. You know what? In people's brains, I don't know if it's just the way that we're wired. Yeah. You know, I don't know if it's just the way that we're wired, but I feel like our brains naturally think in terms of squares and angles and things. Like when you still look at the way our cities are, they're like, I mean, if you're on an airplane, when somebody picks up a racket and they have forehand, it's like you go, where do you think your contact point should be? And they tend to always try to line it up parallel with the ground. Yeah. But it's really more at this angle.
Like it's coming from that angle.
Especially on a one-handed backhand. Yeah. Where it's that instead of this.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then you have to get underneath the ball.
It just hits itself. If you're going this way, you have less plane of the racket. Yeah. But it really, I don't know if it's a natural thing, but I think it also gets taught very incorrectly. Yeah. Americans, we tend to not hit a lot of one-handed backhands. I think since Agassi and all that. And
I think even North America, there's only one person, Shapovalov.
Yeah, Shapovalov. Yeah. I mean, there's a few young American players, but not. It's really not since Sampras have we really seen a great one-handed top, you know.
Yeah, well, not Americans.
Yeah. But anyway, South Americans, they got it. And Europeans, Germans, Spanish even. I mean, the red clay players can do it so well.
What's Tommy doing these days? Tommy Haas.
Oh, what about him? Yeah.
What's he doing these days?
Oh, you know, I'm supposed to play with him in a little bit.
Really?
We talked about it. We're going to play this like Dingles game or something.
But he's here.
He lives in the neighborhood here.
Let me join in.
Yeah, we're supposed to play on my friend with Steve, the basketball player.
Oh, Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we said we're going to, but he's here in the neighborhood, Tommy.
Wait, Tommy's here?
Yeah, he lives in Brentwood, just right there. He could do damage at majors right now, like he would do damage now. He's in such good shape. Like, by the way, he was helping me. He was texting me and back and forth a little bit when I was doing those runs, those national championship runs.
Oh, he was helping
you? On clay. He was kind of like,
teaching you, like coaching you?
Yeah, he was kind of coaching me from the, I was like, I don't understand. Do I hit the ball here or when it comes on this side? Because I read hardcourt, I try to take it all early.
Yeah. But the racket feels great.
All right.
약간 라켓 보시면은 정말 신기한 게 라켓을 잘 보시면은 지금 잘 보이실지 모르겠지만 여기가 이렇게 옆으로 조금 동그란 게 이렇게 완전 동그란 게 아니라 이렇게 오버 쉐입이에요. 이렇게. 그래서 스트링이 좀 퍼켓팅이 되는 것 같은데 정말 웃긴 거는 퍼켓팅이 되면서도 공이 막 날리고 그런 건 없어요. 되게 신기하게. This video is going to be pain in the ass to edit. We talked so much and not just about the racket too.
Let me hit with it for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, your ball's heavier with this racket.
Yeah. Mine is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Here you go.
Oh.
It's light though, right?
What does it weigh?
300.
300?
Yeah. Racket looks great though. It looks good. Yeah, you're right. Like when you're off, like you're hitting off center, like the ball slows down so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. 근데 선수라서 적응은 잘할 거야. 근데 오히려 선수들이 더 까다로워서 적응은 잘해도 안 바꾸지. How are the volleys?
Getting a feel for the volleys.
Sorry.
Ah.
얘도 발리 잘하는데 발리를 잘 못하네 이거는. 이봐, 발리 잘 못하네.
Here, one more. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
이봐, 공이. Sorry.
One more. Which camera?
Yeah. So, what did you think? What did you think about the racket?
Overall,
MP?
with this,
Yeah.
with the it's the Extreme MP. Yep.
Yeah.
It's fun because it looks good. It's sharp. It's like it's cool to pick up.
Yeah.
It's weighted so much differently than this. So this
Yeah.
is naturally this VS Tour that I use.
Yeah.
It's naturally a head heavy racket.
Yeah.
This is like most rackets.
Yeah.
Not as heavy on the head, or at least doesn't feel that way.
I think it's just overall weight is a lot lighter.
It's
so.
actually well dispersed, I think, from the
yeah.
from the weighting of it.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit lighter. So if you're a really competitive player or you're a stronger player physically, you want more weight. This maybe could use a little more weight because, you said it. If I hit it cleanly in the center, it really has a lot of zip.
Yeah.
If it's slightly off center, it's just a little shorter.
Yep.
So I felt that I wasn't going to be able to play, like maneuver a lot with it. You know?
무슨 말을 하냐면은 공을 칠 때 깨끗하게 치면 이제 쭉쭉 잘 뻗어나가는데 이제 살짝 이게 빗 맞았을 때 내가 이렇게 살짝 감각으로 이렇게 살짝 구겨 넣는 거 아닌데 이렇게 탁 내가 손목을 쓰든지 뭐 조금 더 이렇게 공을 이렇게 내가 약간 더 이제 다룰 수 있는데 뭔가 체인지할 수 있는 그런 여유가 있는데 이거는 일단 잘못 맞으면 그냥 바로 짧게 가는 거죠. 근데 그건 무게 때문에. I think
I understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
A clean hit, when you hit it, when you're set up and you're balanced, and it hits in the center,
Yeah.
it comes off very fast.
Yeah.
I think it probably comes off. Did you feel it was a little jumpier?
No, it was faster than this one.
It was faster,
faster than this one.
It was faster than this one was slower.
But overall, like again, tennis is not about hitting just one or two good shots. So.
I also think for players out there that are club players, intermediate players, or stronger physically players that are just taking up the game, could be juniors or men, women. That this would be a good racket because it does a lot. It does enough work for you, and you want to learn also how to hit cleanly.
Exactly.
Well.
So like a lot of times I do customize rackets on camera and like I show them how I customize the rackets. But the thing is, the dangerous thing about that is if you customize the racket too early in your game, then you're not going to able to like hit clean all the time. You're going to kind of, because it's so stable, the racket, like you're going to hit off center and not know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like most players, I think that play competitively, I think you tend to stick with the horse you rode in on. You want to. I tend to play with a racket for years.
Same. Like people think I change rackets really, really quick, but like I stuck with that Prestige for what, like 15 years.
It's like an extension of your arm.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't want to like cut that off. It's like you better have a better arm if it's going to be.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
I think every player feels that way. Like even if you get a huge deal, like you're not going to play with their racket. One more question.
Sure.
One more question. Like when you choose a racket, do you actually go by only what you feel, or do you actually feel like how the opponent's gonna feel? Like how do you, both, right?
Great question.
Yeah.
In fact, that's exactly the reason why I switched this at first. Actually, to this racket right here that I switched to, this Babylon, it actually, I did not really like it.
I like the dampener.
Yeah.
You just put it on backwards.
Definitely. You know,
That's
it's like wristband.
This is one of the prototypes, actually. 이거 프로토타입이라서 제가 나오기 전에 나온 거예요.
I have to have this in my racket. You gave me this when you first made them, and every time I only have one, so I hope can you give me another?
얼마나 너덜너덜해졌는지 진짜 항상 쓴대요, 항상. You put it on backwards.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you know, I tend to look at, but anyways, you know, I always have this on, and.
Anyways,
so good question.
So your opponent is like, it's important how your opponent feels too, right?
Yep. When I first started with this, I didn't like it, but people kept telling me like, Oz, that ball is so much heavier.
Exactly.
It's bigger ball, and so I actually took a good month to get used to this, and now I'm so used to it, it feels normal. And I think that there are definitely upgrades from this racket.
Yeah.
So I'm in the market to switch myself. This is not a racket. I actually like the next generation of this Babolat for me for this.
선수들은 항상 그러니까 내 라켓에 되게 만족을 어느 정도 하고 있지만 뭔가 상대방보다 조금 더 잘 치길 원하고 지금보다 좀 나아지는 걸 항상 추구해요. 이게 선수들이 발전이 없으면은 이게 퇴보예요. 그렇기 때문에 I feel like if you're not progressing, you're actually going backwards. That's what I think. So you're always looking to upgrade equipment, upgrade. Yeah, but the thing is, like you said, it's an extension of your arm, and you don't want to cut it off.
Well, I think
like it better be a better arm. You know?
The best example, obviously, is Federer when he switched at the Australian Open 2017.
Yeah.
And it was a different racket, and he was all of a sudden able to come over that one-handed up top.
That made a huge difference.
But back to this, I think you want to know how you feel about it is important. If you're going to play every day and you're competitive, you want to know how your opponent feels about it.
Exactly. Like you could feel great. And like if your opponent feels great too, it's not a great racket.
And it's also not just about feeling great on one shot.
Exactly.
It's you've got to do all the shots. I mean, you've got to try the volley, you've got to try the backhand, you've got to see how it is with a slice, you have to see how it is with a serve.
Yeah, like I talk about. That's what I talk about in my racket reviews. You face the camera a little bit more.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I talk about, like on the reviews. Like I actually test rackets for ground strokes, volleys, serve, overhead, everything. But the thing is, there's a racket where your ground strokes feel great, but your serve is horrible. Like just doesn't feel like you can't pinpoint, or it's not heavy enough, not enough spin. Whatever it is, like there's rackets like that. So you have to test the rackets yourself. You can't really go by YouTube actually. You have to actually test it yourself.
Yeah, you can get some ideas from YouTube, and then you go out and hold it in your hand and play with it.
Yeah.
How did this feel for you on the? I would say, how did this feel for you on the volleys? Because I had a question about that.
I felt like I had to do like a textbook volley.
Right. Exactly. Okay, that's what we're saying. Okay. I felt the same exact thing.
Yeah. So I had to be like, it just didn't feel natural for me.
Exactly.
It didn't help me a lot on the volleys. Like I that's why I said starting out, I don't have great volleys, but I could. I've been playing, so like I could manage. But the thing is, I was actually surprised. I was whispering on the mic saying, "Hey, he can't volley with this racket." So
that's funny.
Yeah. So, but I mean, not that you can't volley, but I'm
no. It's not going to be.
It wasn't as good as your normal volleys. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
그래서 이런 선수들이 이런 텐션이 있기 때문에 내가 내 샷이 얼마나 이 상대방한테 어떤 느낌일지 그걸 항상 그걸 생각하고 있어요. 나를 생각하는 게 아니라, 물론 제가 나중에도 이제 그거에 대해서 더 얘기를 해드리겠지만, what I said is we're always thinking about how my opponent's feeling. We're always thinking about that because it's not just about me. It's not just about technique. It's about the feel and the tension and how he's going to feel.
If you have somebody you trust and you play with a lot, it's a good idea sometimes after practices that you ask them.
I say this all the time.
How does my ball feel?
Yeah, I said it on the camera in Korean. So that's why I like hitting with someone I trust, because I could actually, ask them how my ball is, like if it's heavy, if it's not. And, sometimes if you're not really good friends, they're going to just say, hey, it's good. It's heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy. But the thing is, like, they're like,
they just want to make you feel good. But if you have somebody you trust, they'll tell you the honest truth.
That's why. 그래서 제가 라켓 테스트를 하거나 그 뭘 테스트를 할 때 내가 조금 더 진실되게 얘기해 줄 수 있는 상대방하고 치시라고 제가 예전에 얘기했던 게 그거예요. 그래야지 내가 정말 피드백을 진짜로 받을 수 있어요. 그냥 물어보면 좋은 것 같아. 그냥 다 그러면은 뭐 그거는 별로 좋은 피드백이 아니기 때문에 진짜 잘 보셔야 되고, 그래서 제가 라켓 테스트를 할 때 제 학생들이 라켓 테스트를 할 때 꼭 저랑 하게 해요. I always ask my students to test the rackets with me before they change rackets, because like because if I feel like it might feel good to you, it feels great for me too.
Absolutely.
You know, so I ask them like before you switch. Sometimes they get lucky and they switch to a great racket, good. But the thing is, a lot of times, you know, that's not going to happen. Yeah, so I always ask them to hit with me during the test. So.
Well, you want to say any final words on that? Pros, cons, the final?
We got to hit serves. I haven't hit serves yet.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah,
All right, right. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. I was going to say. We should hit some serves.